Today I want to talk about the takeaway. Golfers work on the takeaway probably more than any other part of the golf swing. It's one where we feel like we've got most control over. Unfortunately, when you make the takeaway with driver look correct, where the club head and the grip are all in line, so often when you do achieve these positions, as you hit the golf ball, often you can see the golf ball pop itself out to the right. Too much angle of attack, but more importantly, we have a face angle that's too far open to our path. Today I want to give you a drill to fix the takeaway and to enable the takeaway to deliver an angle of attack and a face to path value that look quite neutral. With the aid of the wedge, I want to think about how this club head is moving away from the golf ball and the implications, the feels that that gives you as a golfer. When the club head rises up away from the golf ball in our takeaway, this rising up of the club head is the ingredient that makes the club head line itself up with the grip when the shaft is parallel to the floor. The trouble is, when this club head is rising up on the way back, it's inevitable that the golfer, where he swung the club low and inside, has tried to then steepen the swing up on the way down. So you get this shallow inside takeaway and this steepening angle of attack that balance each other out. It might still leave you with a ball that bends out to the right, but that backswing and that downswing kind of work with each other. So when we now make this backswing line itself back up, how we see all of the tour pros swing the club back. We see the club head rising up. Again, not an ingredient that you necessarily lock into. What you see is the head and the handle in takeaway in a good place. But where you've got the club head and the handle in place, that head is physically higher than that poor takeaway where it swings in and under the grip. So if this club head is now higher, down at strike, we now need to make this club head swing more so that that good takeaway doesn't mean that the angle of attack is going to continually become too steep, which offsets the goodness in the backswing for an open face on the way through. So with the aid of this wedge, I can start to train the takeaway, the pushing down of the grip with the lead hand and the lifting up of the club head with the trail hand. If you've got a good grip, which you'll find here, this won't ever be a problem. If you've got a poor grip, you'll feel like the club face is opening up, which is one of the reasons why you have a poor takeaway with the driver. If you're a member of the channel, you get to see this video, which is a bit longer and a bit more in depth with the grip. Now we've got this push down and the lift up with the club head, it's now time to deal with that. And so I'm now going to move the wedge on the other side of the golf ball. And the gap wants to be between the back edge of the golf ball and the start of the wedge by the width of 2 feet. This gives you enough time to feel like you can allow the golf club to now swing down at the bottom and rise back up. So the sensation that I feel where I push the grip down and rise the club head up must be met with the same push down and the swing. Now I talked about the swing and what that does to where we meet it in the arc striking up in this video here. The takeaway and this swing moment down through strike have to go hand in hand, or else quite simply an improved takeaway will continue to make the ball slice out to the right. So what I want you to do is make the takeaway feel, keep the grip down and make the club head swing. So you start to feel how that club can now rise back up the wedge. Once you've done that a few times, you can push the wedge away and start to make a few little swings where you take it back, you push it down and lift the club head up. And now from here, you're going to move the grip, allow the club head to swing so that you can then start to see an angle of attack rising up. You can see that the angle of attack was up at 5. The path line was straight and the face to path was zeroed out. This now gives you a sensation that I talk about in this video, making the irons and the driver feel the same. Because feeling that I can push down and lift the club head up, and I can push down and make the club head rise back up, I just simply meet it in a different part of the swing, now starts to make me feel like the pressure down can still facilitate a swing up, which is making the strike angle go up on the golf ball and line the face up. Trackman didn't get the numbers on that one. Let's do that again. So the same drill, pushing down rises the club up, which gets that takeaway in a good spot. Pushing down and that feeling that the club head can now rise back up the wedge now gives me the opportunity to continue to make that angle of attack rise up, which continually makes the ball want to draw, continually gives me the angle of attack. Once you've done that a few times, with the takeaway ever improving, and to be honest with you, the takeaway is the easy part, because the takeaway, once you start to really recognize how that push-pull is, pushing down of the lead hand, pulling up of the trail hand, is getting that head in the right spot. Dealing with those now more aggressive angles is the harder part. So go steady. If when you get the takeaway right and you still hit a bit too much down and it fires itself off to the right, don't be hard on yourself. You've made a really good takeaway. Just think about how you then want to feel the club swinging on the way through. You could leave the wedge just here, just to give you a good visual of how we want that club to rise up. So now all of a sudden, I've got the sensation over here. As you develop it more and more, you can start to feel how you can push down and swing the club head up. Up angle of attack with a reducing face to path. This is the green light that you're looking for. A change in your angle of attack that starts to make the takeaway more doable. The takeaway is the start of the golf swing that knows what's coming. And I was working with a good friend of mine, Patrick. You can't change a takeaway without changing an impact and post-impact condition. So if you're working solely on your takeaway, you're going to miss a beat, because that takeaway knows what's coming on the way down has definitely been linked with your impact and post-impact condition. So work both sides of the swing. Get that takeaway working with the wedge and get that through swing working with the wedge. It's really going to help you fix that launch angle, get the right shape on the shot, and allow you to hit more fairways. Are you tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves? Head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves tried and trusted by elite amateurs and tour players alike. Enter my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like, let me know what you think, and I think you'll agree. That, my friends, is good coaching.